What is worship? We use the phrase, well, some people don't like to use the phrase. I worked for a while for Sydney Anglicans, and they and those who've been influenced by them don't like the phrase public worship. They would argue everything is worship, that everything we do is worshiping God. And I think they've been overreacting against a kind of sacramentalist worship. But worship is the worship of God. And it can be public. You can have public worship. We gather in the church here, the church building here, for the purpose of worship. So how do we worship? There are all kinds of ideas and comments. But here Jesus, I think these are two of the most crucial verses for churches to grasp and to understand. So John chapter 4, verse 23. By the way, welcome to Coffee with Jesus. Yet a time is coming, and has now come, when the true worshippers will worship the Father in the Spirit and in truth, for they are the kind of worshippers the Father seeks. Actually, I'm going to leave it at verse 23 because this is so important. I want to come back to it on Monday. We'll do verse 24 on Monday. So look what Jesus is saying. First of all, he says about the time of worship. We often argue about that, but he's talking about in general. Excuse me. So he's saying, Samaritans worship here. You don't know what you're doing. The Jews worship here. We do know, for salvation is from the Jews. Yeah, time is coming when it doesn't matter your temple or our temple. That's all gone. I've just been up at the SRE in the school here teaching some kids about the temple and worship. Well, Jesus is saying that's going to go. The temple's gone. And really, it's not coming back. The time has now come when the true worshippers, and who are the true worshippers? What is real worship? Notice who we worship. We worship the Father in the Spirit and in truth. And that's the kind of worshippers the Father seeks. Does God care how we worship? Yes, of course he does. It's the most important thing that we can do. I think we need to reflect on that a lot more and think about it. I think there's a general attitude that exists in many churches. Well, it doesn't matter how we worship as long as we do worship. But God does care how we worship, and he does care who we are as worshippers. We are to worship in spirit and in truth. And in spirit means in the Spirit. I think that's well translated by the NIV. And in truth. So it's worship involves the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And it must be the truth. You can have beautiful songs, you can have a beautiful building, but if it's not the truth, then it's not worship. This Sunday, when you go to your church, as I hope you will, I hope that your worship will be in spirit and truth, because the Father's seeking that. The Father wants that. I think it's so important for us to ask, Lord, what do you want? What do you want us to do? How do you want us to worship you? We'll come back to this on Monday. God bless you and see you then. Bye.